My credit score just dropped 27 points from an 808 down to a 781. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what caused that, how you can avoid it happening in the future, and why I'm not worried about it. So let's begin by logging into my Credit Karma account and seeing what caused all this damage. All right, we are logged into my Credit Karma account, and as we can see right here in the top left, my credit score dropped by 27 points. So let me click on TransUnion. Oh, before I do so, you can also see here that Equifax has not yet updated. My score dropped 3 points from a previous activity that got reported. So the most recent stuff only got reported to TransUnion so far, or I should say TransUnion got updated most recently. Also from my official FICO score, which I get through Experian, that one has not yet changed either. So that's why we're focusing on the TransUnion side through Credit Karma. So I'll click there and let this dashboard load. And that brings us to this page here where we can see a trend of my score over time. So as we can also see back from July-ish, July 1st, I've been 800 or higher consistently for the past few months here. And right at, let's see, September 13th was my last update here at 808. And then we saw that huge drop down to 781. So those 27 points wiped off my score. And we can click on see what's changed right here to see what factors made that drop happen. So let this load. And now begins the good stuff. So let me zoom in here and move this a little bit off to the left-hand side. And we can see here that the 5 changes were found on my TransUnion report here. So we have 2 main categories of that. The first here at the top was balance increases. So my JP Morgan Chase Bank card services, so Chase card, my balance increased by about almost $2,400. My Discover card, that balance increased by a little over $2,000 as well. And then with American Express, that card went up by $450. So if you add all those together, it's like $5,035. So call it $5,000 of balances increasing. Then down here, we also had some balance decreases of $10 on my Citi card and $6 on another Citi card. So those probably did not do much to my score because the balances were so insignificant. That means the focus then will be right up here with these 3 major changes. So for the first one, I just know off the top of my head which cards these are. This JP Morgan Chase card was my Citi Premier personal card. Discover is my Discover It cashback. And for Amex, that was most likely my Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant because the annual fee, which is currently $450, just posted to my account and then the billing cycle closed out. So that balance got reported. So let me expand this here for some more details. I make it as big as I possibly can as well. So my previous utilization on my IHG Premier card was 9% the last time it got reported, which is excellent. Basically, you want to have your utilization on your cards be under 30% to maintain a good, consistent score, or under 10% to maintain a great score. So I have been doing that without a problem on that card, but now I had a really big balance get reported, and now I went from 9 up to 57%. So that would be considered a high utilization of my overall credit limit. Then if we go expand the details here for my Discover card, $2,200. Here I went from 0% because I was not using the card prior. And now I have an 11% utilization, which is still very, very good. And then for Amex here, the $450 balance, again, prior billing cycle, I wasn't using the card, so 0%. And then $450 now represents a 5% utilization of my limit. So to show you what my limits actually are, let's go out here, and I think we're gonna go back a screen, and we'll scroll down a bit to the major credit factors, which I'll explain a little bit more on some of these in a few moments here. But so you are aware, my payment history, 100%, so that had no impact on my major score drop. Credit card use, or my utilization across all of my accounts, is still very low, only at 2%. I'll expand upon that further as well. Derogatory marks, my bankruptcies, tax liens, collections, none on my report. Credit age is 4 years, 4 months. That's my average age. My total accounts, 48, and hard inquiries, 5 on TransUnion. So let's go into the credit card use to see my utilization individually broken down. Okay, so making this bigger here, first of all, we'll tackle the topic of overall utilization. So yes, I have a stupidly high limit across all my cards on my report. of $287,000 roughly. So if you add up all my my debts, I guess you could say, across my different credit cards, it is $6,500. So my overall utilization is still extremely low, which is great. So that was not hurting my score, and that's one of the benefits of having a lot of credit to your name and not using a lot of it. So with that context now in place, let's scroll down a bit further and see my individual accounts here. The three accounts we were looking at are these top three right here. So for my JP Morgan Chase card, which is my IHG Premier, that $2,800 balance is only a $5,000 total line. That's why the utilization is so high on that account, and it's going to affect me in a very adverse way. Discover's limit is $20,000, therefore the $2,200 limit is only using about 10-11%, and Amex is my $10,000 line, so that would be 4.5% utilized. Again, rounded off, that would be 5%. So if my overall utilization is sitting at a very low 2%, but my individual card utilization is 11% and 57% on my top two highest accounts, that goes to show you how important it is to maintain a low utilization overall and across individual card accounts if your goal is to maintain a consistently high score over time. I should also mention that if you'd like a really easy way to stay on top of your credit score, be notified of any changes to your score, and also really simplify the way you manage multiple credit cards, definitely check out the app MAXREWARDS. MAXREWARDS is an app that allows you to manage your credit cards, rewards, and benefits all in one place. This includes seeing when your bills are due, tracking your sign-up bonuses, monitoring your credit scores, and more. On the Activity tab, you can view the transactions across all your cards to easily see where you've been spending your money, including the value of the rewards you've earned across different categories. Then the Best Card tab helps you identify which card to use for different purchases. That way you can earn points or cash back even faster. So if you'd like to try MAXREWARDS, use the link down below in the description to get the gold level entirely free for your first month. So that crazy 27-point drop in my score was really due to just 3 credit card accounts, one of which had a pretty high utilization, one of which had a pretty low utilization, and the third had a really low utilization. So why doesn't this bother me at all? Because all of this credit score disaster is just temporary. Over the past month or so, I've had some really big one-time expenses as I bought some new camera equipment. I put those expenses on my credit card that only had a $5,000 limit that caused my utilization to skyrocket on that card and therefore my score to plummet. But guess what? I don't buy new cameras every month. So therefore, because I just said these are one-time expenses, very shortly here when the next billing cycle closes out, I'll have new balances probably in the few hundreds of dollars, maybe even close to zero, get reported. Once that happens and my credit reports get refreshed, then my score will rebound and all will be good to go again. And on the whole, the only real world implications you might want to concern yourself with is if you're trying to qualify for the best rates possible, meaning the lowest interest rates possible on something like a mortgage, a car, student loan, personal loan, or something like that to consolidate debt. If you want to get the best rates possible, then yes, you want to have the best score possible to get into the best tier for those low rates. But if you don't have any of those big purchases coming up in the next 6 to 12 months or so, then a drop or a fluctuation in your score really doesn't matter. The beautiful thing is that once you understand the factors that affect your score in the biggest ways, which is represented by the acronym FIRLAMENA, by the way, which stands for payment history, utilization ratio, length of credit history, myths of accounts, and new accounts, then if a significant change to your score does occur, you can look at your individual credit report, see which factors may be out of line, and then just focus your attention on getting those factors back to where they should be, and then your score should rebound pretty quickly. However, if you're the type of person who really likes to maintain the highest score possible at every single moment in time and you want to keep it that way, here's some tips of how to maintain your utilization very low, especially helpful if you have low credit limits right now. So this is my most recent bill here from my IHG Premier card. You can see that the due date is October 13th. I'm making this video on September 19th, and I got the bill just a few days ago here. So I've got a few weeks before this bill is due. This is my $2,800 balance. And if I scroll down here to the account summary section, and this is where Chase places it, different banks might show you your billing cycle in different ways. And if I look at, let me make this as big as I can for you all, you can see right here under the new balance section, under account summary, I've got the opening and closing date. So this shows me when my billing cycle began and when it closed. August 17th through September 16th. It's roughly a 30-day cycle for most billing cycles. And what we want to pay the most attention to is the close date of your billing cycle. And it may be different for me versus you and every single card you have. So for me here, the close date again was 9/16. So what I could have done is, let's say several days before that, I would probably do like September 13th. I would have submitted an early payment for this balance. So zooming back out, if you recall, my credit limit on this card is $5,000. So if I wanted to purposely engineer a low utilization on this card, I could have done something like this. Let's say I wanted to do 29%. I could take $5,000 times 0.29 equals $1,450. So I would want to have a balance of $1,450 reported on this card to have basically lower my utilization and get into the good range. So if my balance was 2827, let's go minus 2827.94, I would then have to submit an early payment of $1,377.94, and I would do so on, say, September 13th, several days early before the billing cycle closes, to bring my balance down to a 29% utilization. Then my billing cycle would close. I would get the same bill that you see right here with a lower balance on it because I already made an early payment, and then I would just pay off the remainder as a second payment in full to avoid all interest. And then switching over to my Discover account here, well, I'll give you one more quick example without all the math because it does not have to be that complicated. It shows me my billing cycle right here, August 17th through September 16th. The same as Chase, that was by pure coincidence. So with this card, my credit line is $20,000. Therefore, simple rough math, 10% would be $200. 20% would be $400. So I would want to have a balance in the low hundreds in order for it to be a really low utilization. So if my balance here was $2,271.12, I would probably want to pay off like $2,000 of that as an early payment. Again, probably on, let's say, September 13th. Let that smaller balance get reported, get my bill, then pay off the remaining $200 in a second payment, and then I'm good to go. I'll also add that the second payment that you do, you can do it right when you receive the bill if you want, or any time before the actual due date. And my payment due date is October 11th. In other words, all of the outstanding balance, the full $2271.12, I need to pay all of that back on or before October 11th. As long as I do that, and as long as you do that based on your own dates, you will get an on-time payment. You will avoid all interest, and if you do it a two-payment method, you can also engineer low utilizations being reported. That way, you can of course maintain your higher score. And with all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. That way you'll never miss an awesome upload. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a great way to manage your credit cards, rewards, and stay on top of your credit score, and to view my all-new site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it gave you some renewed confidence and a better understanding that changes in your credit score can be totally normal, and if they do occur and they upset you, that you can now be empowered to change it once you identify exactly what factors to focus on. Because remember, a lot of changes in your credit score tend to be very temporary and are easily fixed. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and while you're waiting on my next upload, always remember that you are great.